Hello citizens and welcome back. In today's video I would like to go over what's new with 3.17.2, what went wrong right away, and whether CIG can do something about it. As always, if you like this video, sacrifice a like to the YouTube algorithm and subscribe for more, and don't forget to leave a comment for the algorithm as well. And here is a shout out to our amazing patrons for their support of the channel and the armory. With the new patch out, don't forget to use the armory to find where to buy or loot the equipment you need for the dynamic events and your daily adventures. So, 3.17.2 just went live after a long PTU cycle, and there's a lot of bad, but there's also a lot of good coming in with the patch. Before I get into the bad, let's start with the good. Also, I would like to mention that even though I will be pretty critical in this video, I have been watching how CIG have handled things since the patch launched, and they have been doing a pretty good job, even though it didn't quite work out from the start. And also major thanks to all the CIG staff working through the weekend to get things working again. Alright, let's get into the video. 3.17.2 brings in a lot of new content. We have the new outposts and crash sites and the related missions. CIG also seem to have fixed the mission spawning issues and a lot of mission related bugs as well. So far I have had a very smooth and stable mission experience, though with the increased server capacity, CIG might have to consider increasing mission spawn rate, as I have seen servers with a lot of active players having a small number of missions available. We also have the brand new Siege of Orison dynamic event. Now, CIG put out a pretty dense event schedule, at least for the first 2 weeks of the patch, but I expect things to slow down after that, with events probably only happening on the weekends. But overall, the amount of new content is incredible, and CIG have done a great job bringing it all in. I will probably do a separate video on Siege of Orison, as it has a lot to offer but also a lot of issues. With the new content also comes the increased server capacity. At the time of recording, the capacity is set to 100 players, but I think that CIG will be adjusting it further depending on the performance. It's interesting that we ended up with an increased server capacity, because if I recall correctly, CIG stated that they won't do this, but maybe PTU testing showed that they can. For me personally, the verse feels a lot more alive with more players around, but we're already seeing a lot of choke points like elevators and shop terminals, especially in major locations. But I don't consider this to be a major issue. However, there are major issues with this patch, which is surprising because it seems that the final live release has more issues than the last PTU patch. The release itself was pretty rocky, with pretty much everyone getting the 16k error, but as far as I know, CIG managed to fix it within the first 24 hours from release, which is not great but not terrible either. The patch also has some major known issues. Most of these were known during the PTU and weren't fixed, presumably because they are low priority or too difficult to fix in such a short time. But one new major bug has appeared: the inability to launch a party. Now, I tested this with a party of 4 and it worked, so maybe it only affects larger parties or it's an intermittent issue. If you encountered it, please let me know in the comments. But regardless of this, launching a live release with 2 party-focused events with the knowledge that players might not be able to launch as a party seems like an odd decision. Maybe CIG have a hotfix plan for later, or maybe the issue doesn't affect everyone, or maybe they just don't consider party launch to be that important. You never really know with CIG. On the other hand, I have to say that stability seems to be excellent. I have managed to put in a few hours of playtime and I haven't had a single crash of any kind. On the other hand, performance seems to be severely degraded. This includes poor performance in cities and FPS AI teleporting all over the place. Now, I don't want to complain about performance just yet, as we're freshly after a release and things might not be fully stabilized, and I don't think the increased server capacity is to blame here. So I guess we'll see if it improves over the next few days. And it seems like that broken elevators are a problem once again and are preventing people from leaving the habs at New Babbage and Orison. But according to CIG, they're working on a fix. Also, it seems that CIG have disabled the character reset tool, or at least I can't get to it. No idea if this is related to the fixes they did to the database, or if it's because they didn't fix the bug that broke the database in the first place. Another thing I want to mention is, of course, the Alpha UEC stipend we all received. Now, I didn't actually expect to get a lot of money since I spent the majority of 3.17.1 testing 3.17.2, but I actually ended up getting over 6 million credits, which was pretty suspicious at first. But then I realized that this is around the amount of money I earned and spent since the last wipe. And a lot of people around me seem to have the same impression, which actually came as a very pleasant surprise, and a lot of people in the community seem to be happy about this step. Now, this seemed way too good to be true from the start, and it was. CIG admitted that they made a mistake and gave everyone too much money. I know that I should have expected this, but has nobody at CAG thought of, I don't know, maybe testing the script that gave everyone money before running it over the live database? Like every other software company? Increasingly, I feel that CAG has zero experience with running live services and testing changes to those services because they keep repeating the same mistakes over and over. I'm actually not even sure why they needed a complicated script that gave everyone money based on playtime in the first place. Could have just gone with a flat amount of money like they did with the last wipe. But ultimately it seems that the majority of the community was happy with the amount of money they got. But all of that aside, as soon as CAG realized that they made a mistake, they announced that they will be recalculating everyone's wallet with a fixed and improved script that would give everyone a more equal amount of money, along with going over everyone's transaction history and taking away from the ships they bought if it's deemed too much. Well, I'm not sure how this went for everyone else, but after the fix I have the starting sum of 20,000 credits despite having played the previous patch. So let me know in the comments, how did the Alpha UEC stipend go for you, because I'm very curious to see how much money people received at first versus after the fix. Also, it appears that after the fix some people were unable to earn money, myself included. As of Sunday morning my time, we know that this was a bug with the fix that CAG deployed, and it has also been since fixed. But either way, CAG screwed up and punished the backers for it. Ultimately, CAG should have just owned their mistake and tried to do better next time. We are getting a wipe in 3.18 anyway, so it doesn't matter how much money we get now. But instead we got an unnecessary intervention that is causing database issues. Ultimately, with the latest fix, CAG have indeed granted everyone a flat sum of money as we originally asked for. This feels like the optimal outcome considering the situation. CAG also apologized and admitted their mistake and deployed a fix that will hopefully work. I just wish it didn't take us 2 screw-ups to get here. Which brings me to a question I'm seeing a lot of people ask. Will there be a 3.17.3 patch to fix all these issues? Short answer, no. The development teams need to work on 3.18, which is why 3.17.2 couldn't be delayed any longer. But I think we will see some more hotfixes to critical issues over the course of the next month, as well as tweaks to server capacity. With that being said, that's it for tonight. What do you think? Is 3.17.2 going well? How much Alpha UEC did you get before and after the fix? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, fly safe, and I will see you in the verse.